All right, guys, so we're going to do lesson 6.5 of rational expressions. So the first thing you want to do here is we have to use the formula from example 1 with the information we're given in our exercise. So we have to find f. If we're given a p of 50 and a q of 10. So our LCD would be 50f. So we want to come in and multiply each piece by the LCD. And then we'll figure out what's left. So we end up with 50 times 1 equals 1 times f plus 1 times 5f. So 50 equals f plus 5f. Bring these two together. 50 equals 6f. Divide both sides by 6f. 50 and 6 can both be divided by 2. So we get 25 over 3. So f is equal to 25 over 3 centimeters. You need the units because you are dealing with a focal length. So that has to not only be with the units of centimeters, but also with it needs to be positive. So a couple of things here. If you go to check back, you realize that you can't have f equal to 0, and you can't have f equal to a negative because it's a length. Okay. I'm not sure how these two are considered an application, but we will go with it. The LCD here is just m times n. So multiply each piece by the LCD. Figure out what's left. Okay. What you're going to notice here is that because we want to see that the greatest common factor is m, we're actually going to add both sides by 2m. And then divide by the binomial on both sides. And then I'm going to choose to write the m first. So I'm just swapping the sides. So m equals n over 5n plus 2. Okay. Now, the next one, you could see it a couple of different ways. You can say that the LCD is just equal to the only denominator that you see here, which is n minus n. Or you could just multiply both sides by the denominator. So then denominator cancels all the way that side. So we have NR equals T times N minus N. I'm going to take a very similar approach to what we did on the other side. Okay, we're going to have a GCF. Oh, sorry, guys. Of big N, sorry. Okay, the other way to represent this answer, which is the same either way, really, is you can change the signs on the top and bottom. So you could also have okay. And then if you really didn't like that, you could switch the order on the bottom. So those are the same. Okay. All right. So proportions just kind of help you set things up. And the one thing I would suggest you use is cross multiplication. Okay. So let's figure out how we want to set this up. You can either use a V or W. I'm going to use a V. Okay. So for 2016, we know for every 100 people, 18 are living in poverty. So then we don't know how many of the total that is. Now here you could either use an LCD of but I think that's super big, so I would just cross multiply. So if you do your math here, this ends up being 32958 three zeros divided by 100. So you get 329580. So then you would conclude you want to say around or approximately, because we don't know how exact they were. And you guys can pause that and take the notes down, or pause the video as you go through it. Okay, last one. Again, I would suggest cross multiplying. Okay. So I'm gonna say we have 28 gallons to 500 miles. And then we have 10 plus unknown number of miles to get the last 400. Again, I would recommend cross multiplying. So we end up with 28 times 400 equal to 500 times 10 plus x. So that gives us 11200, 5,000 plus 500x minus 5,000. This one you want to say Clayton will need an additional 12.4 gallons of gasoline. Okay. That is how we want to answer our application problems. And I will see you in the next video for 6.6.